Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of FTB Revelation. How are you guys doing today? How's life? What is the plan for today? Well, the plan for today is to get into blood magic. There is one resource that I desperately need, and I think we can get it through blood magic. So we're going to cover this mod today. It's a very weird mod because it's called blood magic, but the main ingredients is called life essence. It's politically incorrect to call it blood, but the name of the mod is blood magic. It's not life essence magic. It's weird. Anyway, let's get started. We have played with blood magic several times in the past and you guys already know how it works, so I don't have to go bit by bit. But since this is YouTube and some people might be watching for the first time, I have to cover it anyway. But we're going to cover it really fast so that the others won't get bored. We make some rudimentary snares. We throw it on a mob. Then we whack him, and we get a demonic will. Then we make a hellfire forge, and start crafting tartaric gems. We combine a petty tartaric gem with an iron sword to get the sentient sword. Then we kill some zombies in order to get demonic will in our tartaric gems. And of course it helps if you have smite on the sword. After that we are going to need a blood altar, a sacrificial dagger, and we stab ourselves until we have 2000 LP. And if you stab yourself too many times, this will happen. Once you have more than 2 buckets of blood inside your blood altar, you put a diamond on top, so that you will get a weak blood orb. You right click to bound it to you. With the blood orb we can make an incense altar. Now if we stab ourselves, we won't die. Converted some stone into blank slate, we can make blank ruin. Actually, while we're cooking slate, I think it's not a very bad idea to find means of regenerating health, because this is expensive on food. You would work, right? And we have everything. Fine. I'll make that. Probably this is not the best method of regenerating health, but let's give it a try. Oh, I have to lose you. That's not good. Any results? It's not that fast. This guy eats through the V. I haven't even fully healed up and it's almost empty. So, you're useless. There is a flower from Botania, obviously, which gives you regeneration the more of them you have. The problem is if you use it combined with blood magic, they made it so that you get a negative buff. And I think that negative buff is just hunger. I have the Ring of Odin, so if it's just hunger, we should be fine. We need a mana pool. Okay, I gave it some mana and we have regeneration. Do we also have hunger? No. Let's stab ourselves. Nothing bad happened. Okay, so I was wrong. And we have regen 3. Generally I know what I'm doing, so I can upgrade the altar to tier 5. But in case you have forgotten or this is your first time, there is a guide that you can make. So you put a book in your blood altar and you will get the guide. And you shift right click with it to choose which tier altar you want to make. And then you just shift right click on the altar and it will show you a blueprint. Of course, half of it is underground, but you know, you get the point. Anyway, my job is to upgrade the blood altar to tier 3, and then when we reach tier 4, I will bring you in for the blood shard. For the tier 4 altar, we're going to need large bloodstone tiles, and that requires a weak blood shard, which does not have a crafting recipe. But it's fairly easy. We just need arcane ashes, a binding reagent, and then we add a diamond sword. And we will get a bound blade. Here is our bound blade. We just shift right click and it's a sword. We just need to hunt a few mobs and one of them drops it. We actually just need one. No, we need some more for the tartaric gems. Alright guys, since the last cutscene a bunch of things have happened. First off, our altar is at tier 5. You can see the beacons. That's tier 5. This is tier 4, tier 3. Okay. The glowstone is tier 3. Please don't break. This is tier 2 and the altar itself is tier 1. So 5 tiers. right? Also, don't have to upgrade the altar like this. You don't have to use blank ruins in order to fill in the gaps, but I like to keep my altar consistent, so I did it like this. You can use wood, you can use stone, you can use whatever you want. You don't even have to fill them in, but I prefer it like this. We also have a place of Tranquility down here. I should have a sneaky block. This is our place of Tranquility, which is just under the blood altar and only 6 blocks away, because otherwise it will not have the effect that we want. And generally it will give us a bonus when we are doing self-sacrifice. We have a mana pool here in order to power the flowers that will heal us as well. And it's almost half full. That's nice. Just in case if you have watched the Direwolf playing FTB Revelation, because he's playing the same pack right now, and you want to suggest to me that, hey Lash, did you know that you can regenerate your health using a focus from Thaumcraft? I would like to remind you that our methods are different. First off, whenever he does a self-sacrifice, he's getting 200 millibuckets of life essence inside his altar. Whenever we do a self-sacrifice, we're getting almost 38,000. So the method of regenerating health is sufficient for him, but for me, I need something much stronger. So I think this was the best. And we need to be saturated. And secondly, I noticed that he's going to go with the method of sacrificing mobs rather than self-sacrifice. So yeah, he didn't need the infrastructure anyway. One of the things that I forgot to mention is how to get the Demon Will crystals. These guys, because you're going to need them in order to upgrade your Tartaric gems and to also craft a bunch of other stuff. What are you? I had no idea. Anyway, what you're going to need is a Demon Crucible, and you're going to put your Tartaric gem inside, or if you have crystals already, you put the crystals inside and it will fill in the chunk with Demonic Will. Then the crystallizers will pick up that Demonic Will and make the crystal. You can also get the Demonic Will which is in the chunk by putting a Tartaric gem in your Hellfire Forge. The reason that I think this is important and I mentioned it is because if you want to get the other types of Demonic Will crystals which have different properties, this is the setup that you are going to need. Basically, there is a ritual which will split this crystal into all of these, and then you have to grow these crystals and then melt them inside the Demon Crucible and then pick them up inside your Hellfire Forge inside a new Tartaric gem. It's a very complicated process. We might do it later on. I don't know. We might. Another thing that I did in between the cutscenes is something that some of you guys might hate me for it, but I honestly hope you don't, is that I made a door, which leads to a second door, which leads to a corridor. No, it's actually our setup for our applied energistics auto crafting, and it's nothing too complicated or something fancy or anything. It's just a basic setup. I was tired of crafting everything and running low on resources and so on and so forth, so I thought I need someone to craft everything for me. I'm spending too much time on it. We have our ME controller, which is a 3x3x3. I'm using P2P tunnels. We have our machine room, which is just the basic machines, nothing too fancy. And we have 6 CPUs, which is probably an overkill, but you know, symmetry is a thing. They're not 16Ks. There is a 64K, 2 16Ks, and 2 co-processors. I was running low on material, and I thought green looks cool. Oh, and by the way, there's nothing behind this wall. It's actually just the cave. I wanted to cover the cave so that it doesn't look very disgusting, and I had those blocks on me, and they were better than cobblestone, so I used them. Here we can maybe put some armor for decoration. Why not? So this is a framed armor stand from Bibliocraft. Can you like change the color? No? You can't? Should I do it like this? No. A furniture paneler might work? Oh yeah, it does. Okay, so how do you look? That's nice. This looks really bad. Really bad. Maybe we can use some screens? I don't know. Yes, screens are a far better option. These are screens from RF Tools, so they're just transparent. This is why you cannot see them, but there's an actual screen over there. This one is hooked up to our capacitor bank, so it will tell us how much RF we have, how much RF we're consuming, and how full it is. And this one is basically a clock, so it will tell you the time of the day. Very useful. Right now we don't have that many items to control or monitor, so later on we will have screens and controllers everywhere. For now this will do, but in any case, I want to work on an area here. We need to expand our base a bit because this place is getting cramped. And I need a workshop, so let's do that. I thought it's not a bad idea to use this expansion in order to get into extra utilities as well, because the blocks look weird and I never know where to put them. So here all of them will be together and they all look weird at the same time. We are going to have 2 resonators and 1 enchanter. The enchanter requires RF and a full set of bookshelves. A full set of bookshelves is 2 mana pylons. For some reason this guy requires 3 and I'm very confused. If I break this one, look, nothing happened. Something should have happened. What if I cut the power? I swear it was not working with 2. Just trust me. Anyhow, the worst part of these guys is that that's a lamp, not an import bus. Is that you cannot configure the machines, so maybe we put an import bus on top and import everything from the top? I have finally cleaned up my room and I'm extremely happy about it. Just ignore the wall behind me. That does not exist, and you did not see that. Anyway, this place is not supposed to be anything magnificent or awesome. It's just supposed to be extra space where I can dump my garbage, like the trophies, the bed, you know, the draconic chest, the enchantment stuff, the XP obelisk, and the market from Pam's Harvest Craft. Because over there, everything was cramped and on top of each other. Anyway, we also have some ingots from Decocraft. It reminded me of the fact that you could stack ingots like this in Terraformacraft, and that's the only reason I love Terraformacraft. Although I never managed to get past Copper Age. So, yeah. Anyway, we also have our coffee machine, which is great. Amazing. The devices from Extra Utilities 2 will function because I installed 30 solar panels, so we have 30 GP, but 30 GP is garbage, and it's only during the day. So I was thinking of making a dragon egg meal, and that requires 2 nether stars, which we don't have. So let me get some. Last time that I fought the Wither, I almost died to mobs. That's a frog. What? Can I eat you? No, apparently. Oh yeah, he has legs. Okay, anyway, we have a wither chamber, so it should be fine. I think we just put it down here because this place is always chunk loaded because of the grains of infinity. Can we go up like this? I just realized in order to make these speed upgrades, we are going to need a lot of apples, and I don't have apples, I have only 12. There was an apple sapling from forestry, but I can't find it. This is from Rustic and it does not have a recipe. Maybe I did this? Yeah, okay. I hid it for some reason. Anyway, now we can look at the recipe. It does not give me a recipe, it just tells me that I can get it from a void botanic miner, which is not something that I want to do. The other ones have a recipe. Even cherrywood has a recipe. Weird. I just checked and it seems that the apple sapling does not have a recipe because you can either find it in the wild or you can buy it from a villager. So it's one of the original saplings. I might be wrong, so if you know, please tell me. I have a small issue. The project that I want to do with blood magic requires millions of LP, and so far we only have 1.6 million. Basically what I want to do is to summon a meteor made out of diamonds and emeralds, so that I can harvest it for emeralds. We are going to need a lot of emeralds in order to make the crystals from Ender.io, and I'm not getting any of them from the deep dark. So that's a way of generating resources. The problem is, it takes time to gather LP, and we have a lot of time to kill. So I was thinking of doing a small project. During nighttime I have a lot of issues with mobs spawning right next to my door or in our immediate vicinity, because you're walking, you see a mob, you kill it, you pick up 10 different garbage items, you have to throw them away, and it's slightly irritating. It's modded, so you get a bunch of garbage items. So at first I thought I'm going to use an Infusion Obelisk from Ender.io and not allow them to spawn at all. But that's a waste, because they can be useful. So instead we're going to use a Relocator Obelisk. I have prepared a very small space for our Infusion Obelisk, and this guy requires soul vials with mobs inside, but it has an octactic capacitor and this is the maximum range. So any mob which spawns in this range will be transported there, and we're going to drop them into liquid death. And when you drop mobs inside liquid death, they will be dissolved and they will give you V crystals. And we kind of need V crystals. And the more random they are, the better, I guess. Because we can smelt them and get essentials. Making liquid death, although it sounds really cool, requires a lot of garbage. And I need 4 buckets. I think we have enough in order to make at least 2 buckets. So if we put you here, we can choose you, right? Yeah. It should get the essentials and give me a bucket of liquid death. We have 2 buckets and I think that should be enough to get us started. So we put 1 bucket here, 1 bucket here, and then we need 2 buckets for there. That should be enough. And we can try it on a squid. Do you relocate? There are no squids. I added a few more soul vials to the obelisk and now we're getting tons of crystals. And also loot. I thought it's not supposed to give you loot. That's weird. But it's nice to watch them die. You know, I just realized this is not why we play the game, because this is basically just a hole in the ground. And here is my idea of something more fun. This is basically our Thaumcraft base. I'm going to put the Infusion Altar here, and don't mind the decoration right now. It just looks slightly weird, I know. I'll probably change it a bit, but the pool of liquid death will be up there. Relocation Obelisk is now down here and it's hooked up to redstone and everything. It has power and it's also hooked up to a portal from Draconic Evolution. So this will collect the mobs, drop them inside the portal, and then the mobs will go into the center of this tank and on top of our arcane infusion altar. I already have a dislocator bound to that location. Unfortunately I put the liquid death inside, so we can't test it on ourselves. But we can test it on mobs. That's the whole purpose. This is the part that we have to be really careful with. So we're going to break these blocks. We're going to activate the portal. Oops, nope, 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 nope. We're alive. Fine. This time we're going to be careful. And it worked. That was a weird noise. Anyway, I have the soul vials and we put them inside and run away. I fell in it again! No! So basically under this tower, which I thought will look very ominous and scary, which it doesn't, so I have to redo that, we have a relocation obelisk with a portal from Draconic Evolution. I have turned it off. I have hooked it up to redstone so I can turn on and off the redstone, and when it's on, it will capture the mobs. And then it will drop them inside the portal, and then the mobs will go inside our Thaumcraft base in the pool of liquid death and dissolve into crystals. Up here I have a very simple filtering system. So I have a mod item filter. We're keeping everything from Thaumcraft and we're avoiding everything which is not from Thaumcraft. So basically we're keeping only the crystals. That's our main ender chest, so we're also getting grains of infinity. Mobs are not dropping grains of infinity. I know that. This structure might not look very impressive to you guys, but believe me, I'm very proud of myself. Anyway, it was the most expensive and most time-consuming thing that I have ever built in modded Minecraft, because first off, this is basalt, and you need to go and find the volcano, bring back all the basalt. This guy requires endstone, and I had to go to the end. And, you know, everything was just super expensive and time consuming. And by the time I finished this part, this was the first part I finished. I forgot how I did that, so the dimensions were screwed up. And I had to do it all over again. So, yeah, it was fun. Alright guys, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. I'm sorry that we did not manage to summon the meteor from blood magic this episode, but this building that you see behind me and the applied energistic system took a very long time. So we can summon the meteor next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye. Just one more small point before we wrap up the episode. We are going to host an FTB Revelation server based on the same seed that I'm playing right now, so that you guys can also join and play. You can find more information on my Discord. There's a link in the description. Bye bye. I just realized that our reactor is at 15%. So when that number hits 14%, we should hear the alarm, and then the reactor should kickstart, and we should generate RF. That way we will know that I did my homework correctly.